Welcome, dear treasure hunters, your guide through the ancient mysteries of hidden symbols and secret treasures. Today, we're delving into the enigmatic world of rock carvings, their meanings, their secrets, and the hidden paths they reveal. If you've ever come across strange symbols on ancient stones and wondered if they might lead to unimaginable riches, you're in the right place. Grab your maps, light your torches, and let's embark on this thrilling journey together. The secrets behind circular carvings. Our first stop is the circular carving, perhaps one of the most misunderstood symbols etched into the stones of history. Often mistaken for mere decoration, these circular marks have a profound meaning rooted deep in ancient burial rituals. In many ancient cultures, circular carvings were more than just symbols. They were sacred. These were places where holy liquids and offerings were left to honor the dead, symbols of life, death, and the journey beyond. When found alone, they often indicate the presence of multiple graves nearby, a resting place for those who have passed. However, the meaning shifts dramatically when these circular carvings appear alongside others. Two circular carvings placed side by side. That, my friends, is where deception begins. These twin circles can serve as false guides, leading the unwary directly toward perilous cliffs or dead ends. It's a masterstroke of ancient misdirection, designed to ward off grave robbers and protect the riches hidden beneath the earth. So, when you stumble upon a circular carving in the wild, remember, its meaning isn't set in stone. Look closer, think deeper, and never trust the first impression. The language of square carvings. Moving forward, we arrive at the square carvings, symbols of structure, protection, and hidden wealth. Unlike the open-ended nature of circular symbols, square carvings are precise and purposeful. They often indicate man-made chambers, meticulously constructed to safeguard something precious. Imagine standing before an ancient square carving, knowing it might mark the entrance to a hidden room or a buried vault, filled with treasures lost to time. The square's very shape implies stability and containment, a promise that something valuable lies just beneath your feet. But the mystery deepens. When these squares are paired with other symbols, like the triangle, here's where things get truly fascinating. A square next to a triangle suggests not only the existence of a hidden chamber, but also the path to access it. It's a map, a guide for those wise enough to decipher its meaning. So the next time you find a square carved into stone, resist the urge to dig blindly. Analyze the surroundings, seek out additional clues. Remember, treasure is rarely found by the impatient. Triangular symbols and the path to riches. And now, we turn to the most cryptic of all, triangular symbols. Ancient cultures revered the triangle, associating it with protection, direction, and sometimes with ominous warnings. A triangle near a square carving is no mere coincidence. It is an invitation to a journey, often treacherous, always rewarding. The triangle not only points the way, but also guards the treasure with unseen traps and curses. Its elevated position on stone surfaces often suggests that the treasure lies on higher ground, far from the place where the symbol itself resides, a clever ruse to mislead looters and safeguard the fortune. However, interpreting the triangle demands caution. Some believe it is imbued with protective magic, guarding the treasure with ancient spells. Others claim it marks pathways lined with traps, deadfalls, poisoned darts, or worse. In either case, it's a symbol of duality, both a beacon and a barrier. So, dear listeners, should you find yourself before a triangle carved into the stone, do not tread lightly. Prepare for trials ahead, for the greatest treasures are never without their guardians, unraveling the mystery as our journey through the ancient symbols comes to an end. One truth stands clear: treasure hunting is not for the faint-hearted. It is a game of wits, a battle of courage against caution, and above all, a test of your ability to see beyond the obvious. Circular carvings, square markers, and triangular symbols. Each tells a part of the story, a piece of the puzzle leading to riches untold. But only those who master the language of the stones can hope to uncover the final resting place of the secret treasure. So, fellow seekers of fortune, keep your eyes sharp, your minds sharper, and never underestimate the power of a well-carved symbol. Until next time, may your paths be clear and your discoveries plentiful. Are these signs mere coincidences, or are they the keys to unimaginable wealth buried beneath the earth? In the next 20 minutes, we'll explore their meanings, the purpose of false signs, and the ancient minds that created them. So get comfortable, open your mind, and let's decode these ancient puzzles together. The language of symbols. An introduction. Throughout history, symbols have been used to convey secrets, warn of danger, and guide the worthy to hidden riches. Among these, the circular, square, and triangular carvings stand out as a coded language. Cipher left by those who sought to hide their wealth from grave robbers and time itself. When found alone, these symbols hold specific meanings. A circular carving often denotes a burial site, a square suggests a hidden chamber, and a triangle points the way forward. But when these symbols appear together, their meaning transforms. They become a complex code, designed to mislead the greedy, and guide only those who can unravel their mystery. The ancient treasure makers were not only skilled in crafting riches, but also in crafting deception. They created layers of signs, combining real clues with false trails to protect their secrets. Understanding this encrypted system is the first step in uncovering the truth behind the symbols. The power of combination, circular, square, and triangular signs. Let's dive into the heart of the mystery, the powerful combination of circular, square, and triangular carvings. When these symbols are found together, they form an encrypted map that requires both intellect and intuition to decipher. The circular carving. Traditionally, the circular carving is associated with burial sites, offering a warning to those who dare disturb the dead. But when paired with other symbols, its meaning shifts. In combination, it can act as a misdirection, leading the unwise away from the true path. The circle becomes a veil, concealing more than it reveals. The square carving. Next, we have the square, a symbol of structure and secrecy. Its presence hints at man-made chambers or vaults, painstakingly hidden to safeguard treasures. When found near a circular carving, the square serves as a clue to the physical form of the hiding place, perhaps a stone chamber beneath the earth or a hidden alcove within a cliff. The triangular carving. Then there's the triangle, the most intriguing of the three. A symbol of direction and protection, the triangle not only points the way, but also warns of traps and curses. Its elevated position often suggests that the treasure lies at a higher ground, far from the place where the symbols themselves are. Carved, together, these three symbols form a trinity of guidance, protection, and misdirection. Their combined meaning is not a simple sum of their parts, but a sophisticated puzzle, a key that only the most perceptive treasure hunter can unlock. The art of deception, false signs and their purpose. But why go through such lengths to encrypt a message? The answer lies in deception. Ancient treasure keepers were master tacticians, weaving false signs into their maps to thwart grave robbers and preserve their fortunes. These false signs were not placed randomly, but with careful intention, designed to lead the unworthy into traps or endless circles, far from the true prize. Two circular carvings side by side, for instance, could direct you towards a cliff or a barren field, an illusion meant to waste time and break resolve. And yet, within, This maze of falsehoods, the real clues remained, hidden but not impossible to find. The key to outsmarting these traps lies in recognizing patterns, understanding the language of the symbols, and most importantly, keeping a clear mind amidst the deception. The lesson here is simple yet profound. In the world of ancient treasures, not everything that glitters is gold, and not every symbol leads to riches. The true path is hidden among false trails, accessible only to those who can see beyond the obvious. Deciphering the code. A practical approach. So how does one decode these symbols without falling prey to the false signs? The first rule is to analyze the context. Symbols rarely exist in isolation. The placement, proximity, and sequence of the carvings tell a story that must be read with both logic and intuition. Start with the triangle. If a triangular symbol is present, begin your analysis there. Its direction often reveals the path to follow, but proceed with caution. Traps are usually set along the most straightforward routes. Examine the square. Next, consider the square carving. Look for indications of an underground chamber. Loose stones, unnatural formations, or even changes in vegetation. The square's position relative to the triangle can reveal whether the path is direct or circuitous. Interpret the circle. Lastly, study the circular carvings. If they appear to form a path or align with natural landmarks, they might be guiding you towards the treasure. However, if they seem placed to distract or if they lead to hazardous terrain, you're likely dealing with false signs. The ancient treasure keepers believed that only those worthy of the treasure should find it, those with both intellect and courage. To pass their test, one must outthink the symbols, uncover the truth, and resist the allure of the obvious. Wisdom over wealth. As our journey through these ancient symbols draws to a close, one truth becomes clear. Treasure hunting is a quest for wisdom as much as wealth. The combination of circular, square, and triangular carvings is a language of both deception and revelation, designed to test the mind and fortitude of those who seek fortune. So the next time you find yourself before a cryptic carving on a weathered stone, remember, every symbol is a test, every false sign a lesson. Approach each with respect, think twice before you act, and never underestimate the cunning of those who hid their treasures long ago. Until our next adventure, keep your eyes sharp and your mind sharper. This is Your Name, signing off from the enigma of ancient symbols. Thank you for listening, and may your path to riches be guided by wisdom, the origins of grave signs and their hidden meaning. Our story begins thousands of years ago, when the fear of disturbing the dead was a powerful deterrent, capable of keeping even the bravest warriors at bay. Ancient civilizations understood this fear well, and they used it to their advantage. Grave signs, those eerie circular carvings and solemn symbols etched into rocks, were not only markers for the deceased, but also guardians of secrets. To protect their wealth from grave robbers and conquerors, ancient people began intertwining grave signs with treasure symbols, creating a complex and sacred code. At first glance, a simple circular carving might seem to mark a tomb or a place for offerings, holy water, sacred oils, or food for the afterlife. But to those who knew how to read the signs, it was also a map, an encrypted guide leading to unimaginable wealth. These signs were designed to ward off the unworthy and lead only the most perceptive to the prize. In this ancient world, the most secure hiding place for treasure was not a fortress or a cave, but a graveyard. After all, who would dare to search beneath the resting place of the dead, the language of fear, using graves to protect treasures? Why were graves seen as such effective hiding places? The answer lies in a universal truth: fear. For centuries, graveyards were seen as cursed, ground, haunted by spirits and protected by powerful taboos. Disturbing a grave was not only seen as sacrilegious, but dangerous, inviting curses, bad luck, and the wrath of vengeful spirits. Ancient treasure keepers exploited this fear to perfection. They used grave signs to create a psychological barrier, i.e., warning that what lay beneath was not to be touched. Even the bravest treasure hunters hesitated to defy these warnings, knowing that the price could be far greater than gold. But for those who dared, the rewards were immense. By learning to decipher the grave signs, a skilled treasure hunter could turn fear into opportunity, unlocking paths to hidden chambers, secret vaults, and riches left untouched for centuries. So, the next time you see a circular carving near a burial ground, don't dismiss it too quickly. It might be more than just a grave marker. It might be the first clue on a path to untold fortune, the code of respect, honoring the dead while seeking riches. But there is another layer to this story, one of respect. In the world of ancient symbols, understanding the relationship between grave and treasure signs is not just about deciphering clues. It's also about honoring the beliefs of those who came before us. Grave signs were often created with reverence, marking the final resting places of loved ones and leaders. To defile these sites carelessly was to invite curses and wrath, not just from spirits, but from the living who held these beliefs sacred. True treasure hunters knew this well. They approached these signs not with greed, but with caution and respect, understanding that the path to the treasure lay not through desecration, but through wisdom. They sought to decode the signs without disturbing the graves they protected, moving with the precision of archaeologists rather than looters. This code of respect served a dual purpose. It protected the graves from desecration and preserved the path to the treasure for those worthy enough to follow it. For the ancients, the dead were not just protectors of the past, but guardians of the future, keepers of secrets for those wise enough to understand, false signs and the guardians of wealth. But not all signs were what they seemed. In a world where graves were seen as sacrosanct, false signs became a powerful tool. Ancient treasure keepers often created fake grave markers, symbols that seemed to mark burial sites, but in reality pointed to hidden vaults or concealed entrances. Imagine finding two circular carvings side by side, leading directly to a barren cliffside. Most would turn back, believing they had stumbled upon a graveyard or a dangerous trap.